All right, my beautiful and brave Aries souls, gather close and feel the energy in the air. Can you sense it? That subtle yet unmistakable hum of anticipation, that electric charge that feels like the moment right before a lightning strike. I want you to listen, not just with your ears, but with that fiery, intuitive core of your being. A very special feeling is approaching, as if a cosmic door is about to be blown wide open. And if you are still enough, brave enough, you will hear the universe calling your name. Today, if you are an Aries listening to my voice, know that it is no accident you found this video. The cosmos has a way of aligning us with the messages we are truly ready to receive. And I believe with every fiber of my being that November 2025 is preparing to deliver something monumental just for you. We are not just talking about a small shift, we are talking about a miracle, a profound and life-altering transformation. This isn't just about money or external success, though that is certainly a beautiful part of it. This is about an inner ignition, a moment where your soul is activated by the universe itself, reminding you of the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. There are 3 specific days this month where the cosmic energies are converging with such intensity that if you know how to harness this power, how to open your heart and act with courage, you can fundamentally change the entire trajectory of your life. We're talking about your career, your finances, your deepest beliefs, and your unshakable self-worth. And among these 3 divine moments, there is one sacred day. A day so potent that if you miss it, you may have to wait a very long time for the universe to orchestrate such a powerful alignment again. I know there are a million things vying for your attention, but if you stay with me until the end of this journey, I promise you will not only discover what these 3 days are, but also understand why you, a courageous, fire-bearing Aries, have been divinely chosen to receive this cosmic gift. If this message is already stirring something deep within your soul, let the universe know you are listening by commenting below. Thank you, God, for blessing us with your divine grace. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to Astrology Unlocked and join our beautiful community so you never miss these life-altering cosmic updates. Now, when you're ready, let's take our first step together into a November that is no longer just a page on a calendar, but a sacred map leading you back to your light, your worth, and your true, magnificent self. You know, not everyone believes that the stars can speak to us, but Aries, you are different. You don't always need logical proof to know something is real. You need to feel it, that inner spark, that gut feeling, that undeniable impulse to move. That is the incredible gift you carry, the ability to connect with the raw, creative energy of the universe and to act on it with a speed and courage that others can only marvel at. And for that very reason, these 3 days in November were not chosen at random. They are 3 specific moments in time where the cosmos has orchestrated a powerful symphony of fire and fortune just for you. On these days, your ruling planet, the mighty Mars, will dance with Jupiter, the great bringer of expansion, luck, and miracles. The moon will illuminate your path, while Venus will place into your hands a touch of magic we call prosperity. All of these celestial bodies are gathering like a divine council to unleash the symphony of your destiny. But beautiful soul, the true meaning isn't just written in the stars, it's forged within you. Miracles don't just happen to passive observers, they happen to those who co-create with the universe, to those who believe they are worthy of leading the charge. And this is a moment where you must remember something vital about your Aryan spirit. For you, wealth is not selfish, and success is not separate from your purpose. When an Aries becomes abundant, you don't just hoard it for yourself. You become a leader, a protector, an inspiration. You use your resources to build, to champion others, to light a fire under those who are struggling. When a brave Aries soul becomes truly wealthy, the whole world becomes a more dynamic and courageous place. I believe in that, and I believe in you. This November, you are not just being invited to receive material rewards. You are being reminded that it is time for you to shatter the shell of any lingering self-doubt or hesitation and to boldly claim what is yours. Not from a place of greed, but because you need the power, the resources, and the platform to help more people, to live true to that brilliant light the universe has placed within your soul. These 3 days, which I will share with you one by one, are like 3 cosmic waves of energy. If you dare to ride them at the right moment, you will be propelled further than you have ever gone before. It could manifest as a game-changing career opportunity, a revolutionary financial idea, a life-altering invitation, or simply a moment of pure, unadulterated clarity where you realize you have the power to change everything. I don't need you to believe every single word I say. I just need you to trust that fire in your own gut. If something inside you is stirring, if you're feeling that familiar restlessness that signals a major change is coming, that is the whisper of the universe. Trust that feeling, brave Aries. It has never, ever lied to you. You were born with a passionate heart and an unyielding strength to create bold, profound changes. You don't need to whisper to be heard. Your very presence can ignite a room. And now, if you are feeling that inner fire building, if a part of you is awakening and saying, "Yes, it's time," then you are ready to know exactly what these 3 days are. Because as I said, one of them could be the day you look back on as the moment it all began. Keep your mind open and your heart courageous. We are about to dive into the most important part. The first day, the day your soul is not just awakened, but activated by a divine spark from the cosmos. You are about to realize that you're not just being touched by money. You are being called to a destiny that has been waiting for you all along. I want to share a story with you, something I've held in my heart for a long time, waiting for the right moment to share with the right souls. Many years ago, I found myself at a professional crossroads. I had a stable, secure job, the kind of job everyone tells you to hold on to. It was safe, it paid the bills, but my soul felt like it was suffocating. I felt that classic Aryan restlessness, that feeling of being a caged lion. Every day felt the same, and the fire inside me was dimming to a flicker. Then one night, I had an incredibly vivid dream. In the dream, I was standing on the edge of a massive cliff, and below me was not a scary drop, but a beautiful, swirling nebula of stars. A voice, clear and powerful, echoed around me. The safe path is behind you. Your destiny is in the leap. I woke up with my heart pounding, not with fear, but with an electrifying sense of clarity. That very day, I walked into my job and resigned. It seemed insane to everyone around me, but I was listening to that call, that undeniable impulse that told me it was time to leap. That was the day I truly activated my soul's purpose. And that's why, when I tell you that this coming November 9th is the day your soul could be activated, I'm not just speaking as an astrologer. I'm speaking as someone who has taken that leap and knows exactly how precious and powerful that feeling is. For an Aries who lives with such a burning inner fire, this activation doesn't come as a gentle whisper. It comes as a spark, a sudden download of cosmic energy. It might appear as a flash of insight during a workout, a brilliant idea that strikes you in the middle of a conversation, a powerful urge to start a new project, or a moment you look in the mirror and suddenly know that you cannot live a small life for one more second. You know it's time to break out of the box you've been in for far too long. On November 9th, 2025, astrologically, your ruling planet, fiery Mars, will form a dynamic and electrifying trine with Uranus, the planet of sudden breakthroughs and revolution. This is a rare and potent connection that flings the doors of innovation, courage, and intuition wide open. No more fences, no more walls, no more hesitation. You will feel things not with logic, but with a raw, instinctual energy, as if your entire being is being supercharged from within. And in that moment, if you are paying attention, you will hear the universe's invitation. It is the call to action. I know you might be thinking, "I'm not ready," or "I don't have a perfect plan." But I am here to tell you, Aries, you were born ready. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a spark. Starting over doesn't mean burning everything to the ground. It simply means seeing your life with new eyes, a courageous heart, and a renewed belief that you no longer have to settle for a life that dims your light. And maybe everything you need to change will begin with one small, brave move. It could be a bold email you finally send, a conversation you've been avoiding, an investment in a new skill. But it will come. It will find you because it is time. You have waited long enough. Let me ask you, my beautiful friend, have you ever had a powerful gut instinct that you followed and it led to something amazing? An impulse you couldn't explain, but you acted on it anyway. A moment you chose the risky path because your heart screamed, "Go"? If you have, share that story in the comments. This is a sacred space for brave hearts, and sometimes your story of courage can be the spark that ignites another soul. November 9th is the day to tune into your inner fire. No need for overthinking, no need for massive, detailed plans. Just place your hand on your heart and ask, what is the one brave step I can take today to honor my true self? The answer that immediately comes to mind, that's your activation point. I know this process can feel intense. It can make you want to suddenly change everything, to leave a situation that has felt stifling, to finally speak your truth. Do not be afraid of this intensity. That is your power returning. Like a rocket breaking through the atmosphere, there must be fire and force to reach a new height. You are rising. You are being reborn in fire. And you don't need a 10-step plan. The only thing you need to do that day is to open your heart to courage. Do one simple thing that morning. Before you do anything else, stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say out loud, "I open my heart to my own power. I am ready to take action and receive all the blessings the universe is sending me." Just that one declaration is enough to signal to the cosmos that you are ready. On November 9th, the signs might be subtle at first. A message from an old colleague with a surprising opportunity, a small idea that suddenly feels huge and possible, an article you randomly click on that feels like it was written just for you. Do not ignore these signals. The universe often speaks in sparks and impulses, and Aries, you are the one who knows how to catch them. This is the time you must pay attention to the smallest nudges, a chance encounter, a sudden urge to drive a different way home, a feeling in your gut you can't shake. All of them are breadcrumbs from the universe. And if you're still in doubt, let me share another true story. A few years ago, I knew a man, a true Aries. Let's call him Mark. He was working in a corporate job for over a decade, feeling unfulfilled and restless. One day, also in November, under a similar Mars-Uranus aspect, he was on his lunch break and had a sudden, overwhelming urge to walk into a small, local gym he'd passed 100 times. He didn't know why. He went in, started talking to the owner, and learned it was for sale. He had no plan, no savings set aside for this, but the feeling was so strong, he couldn't ignore it. That single, impulsive act of walking through a door started a chain reaction. 3 months later, he had secured a loan. A year later, he was the owner of a thriving gym, not just making money, but changing people's lives. The most important thing he told me was, it wasn't about the business. It was the feeling that for the first time, I was finally leading my own life. You see, activation is not always a loud explosion, but it always leads you back to your power. And when night falls on November 9th, you might feel a surge of energy, a restlessness. Don't try to suppress it. Go for a run. Listen to powerful music. Write down all your crazy ideas. Let that energy flow. That is your soul purifying itself of stagnation and preparing to welcome forward motion. Activation is the first step, but if you only have a spark and don't fan the flames, it will fizzle out. You need to act, to build on that energy, to know how to let that seed of fire grow into an inferno of success. And that is why November 19th, 10 days later, will be the moment you amplify this power. The day you double down on your blessings. That day is not just a door, it is a superhighway of momentum, growth, and manifestation. We will get there in the next part. But before we do, remember this. November 9th is not the day you become wealthy. It is the day you remember you have always carried the fire of a millionaire, the heart of a leader inside you. And now, you have just struck the first match. If you feel activated by anything today, if your heart is beating faster, I invite you to declare in the comments, I am the fire and the light. Not for me, but for yourself. Let the universe hear your roar. 10 days after your soul is activated, there will come a morning when you not only see the path clearly, but also feel the tangible power of momentum in your hands. No longer just a fleeting idea, no longer just a gut feeling, but concrete signs, real-world opportunities, and above all, a powerful sense that you are undeniably on the right track. This is November 19th, a day when the cosmos, the earth, and your fiery heart begin to move in perfect, powerful synchronicity. And if you are paying attention, you will realize the universe is amplifying the fire you ignited on the 9th. Imagine you struck a match in the darkness. On the 19th, you use that match to light a torch. And with that torch, you can now see the entire cave is filled with treasure. Maybe the treasure was always there, but you needed your own light to see it. That moment, the moment of seeing the first real results of your courage, is one of the most sacred feelings a warrior soul like yours can experience. It is not just hope, it is confirmation. In the language of astrology, November 19th carries a massive wave of energy from Jupiter the planet of expansion, meeting your ruler, Mars, in a harmonious flow. This combination doesn't just expand your finances, it expands your influence, your confidence, and your ability to turn bold ideas into tangible reality. But did you notice? Blessings rarely arrive with a formal announcement. They come disguised as work, as a small opportunity that requires a big effort, a challenging project that others shy away from, or a person who offers you blunt advice that stings a little but pushes you to level up. This is why you must be more present and courageous than ever on this day. The difference between the person who amplifies their blessings and the one who lets them slip by lies in one thing: action. Were you truly ready to seize the moment? Or were you waiting for it to be perfect? Were you still entertaining old doubts, old fears, old stories of, what if I fail? You cannot amplify anything if you are not willing to act in the very moment the opportunity arrives. I want you to remember this, brave Aries. Prosperity does not come from luck alone. It comes from daring to build upon the foundations you have already laid. Every time you have been brave, every time you have been a leader, every time you have chosen action over apathy, every time you have helped someone else find their courage, believe me when I tell you that November 19th is when the universe begins to repay that energy, to amplify it, and send it back to you in ways you might not have even imagined. And if on that day something happens, a challenging offer, a sudden phone call, a project that feels too big, pause, breathe deeply, and ask your heart, is this the universe testing my courage before it delivers my breakthrough? Because sometimes the opportunities that will change our lives forever begin just like that, as a challenge, a dare, a call to rise. I know you've lived long enough to know that life isn't always a straight line to victory, but I also know that with every battle you fought, you didn't just become stronger, you became wiser. You no longer need a crowd to validate you. You know your own worth. And that is why, when a soul as mature and powerful as you chooses to believe, chooses to act, chooses to lead, the universe will amplify every ounce of courage you put forth. Not because you've struggled, but because you have loved the fight, you have honored the journey. And now it is time for you to enjoy the spoils of your bravery. Have you ever wished for something to be amplified? Not just wealth, but something deep in your Aryan heart: courage, passion, a loving partnership, a dream you've carried since you were young? If you have, leave it in the comments below. No need for a long story. Just write, "I ask to amplify the fire within me," and let those words become a declaration to the cosmos, a seed of intention waiting to explode into reality. You might not remember every detail of that day, but you will remember the feeling of momentum, of things finally clicking into place, the feeling of synchronicities that feel like destiny, the feeling of gratitude so profound it makes you want to conquer the world. That is when you know you are not pushing this boulder alone. Something far greater than you is pushing with you. And then when you close your eyes at the end of that day, you will realize today was different. Not because you were given more, but because you did more with what you were given. But you know what? Amplification is only the second step. After your soul is activated, after the fire within you is multiplied, there will come a moment when you must rise to claim your victory, to own the throne you have built. So please, hold on to this feeling of momentum and come with me to November 27th, the day of the breakthrough, where you will understand that victory isn't in the applause from the crowd. Victory is when you look in the mirror and recognize the powerful creator you have become. If you're ready, just declare, "I will move forward with fire in my heart, and I will see you in the next part, where you will realize you were never being held back. You were only being prepared for your reign." Do you remember? Right from the very beginning of our journey, I told you that among these 3 powerful days, there would be one that was incredibly sacred. A day that not only changes your destiny, but also makes you look back on your entire life, every struggle, every risk, every battle, and say with absolute conviction, it was all worth it. This is that day, November 27th, the day of the breakthrough. The day when all the effort, the courage, and the relentless fire you have poured into your life are finally answered with a crown. But not the crown of a king given by others, not the fleeting recognition of titles or praise. This is the crown that comes from within, the crown of deep self-knowledge and power you feel when you know you have built your own kingdom. I have always believed that for a true Aries, victory is not a number in a bank account. It's not a certificate on the wall. It is not how many people follow you. It is that moment when you can stand alone, in the quiet, and feel a profound sense of pride, not arrogance, but a deep, unshakable knowing in your heart. I did this. I built this. November 27th is that moment, a day when you no longer have to ask, "Am I on the right path?" Because every sign, every result, every feeling will scream in unison. You are the path, you forged it yourself. And now, it is time to claim your rewards. Astrologically, November 27th is one of the most potent alignments of 2025 for you, Jupiter. The planet of abundance and kingship will be at the peak of its power, forming a grand trine with your ruler Mars and the radiant Sun. This creates a massive, flowing circuit of creative, confident, and prosperous energy that awakens your deepest leadership qualities and a sense of divine right to succeed. At the same time, the moon will be full, illuminating everything you have built and connecting the entire sky with the goals you have so bravely pursued. In other words, if there is a day when heaven and earth agree that it is time for Aries to be crowned, this is that day. But the most beautiful part isn't what destiny is giving you. It's in the person you have become to get here. You are no longer the restless soul from the beginning of the month, no longer the person just hoping for a spark. You are the one who took the spark and built a bonfire. You are the one who believed in the darkness, who stood up when no one else would, who took the risks and did the work when nothing was guaranteed. And that, my brave friend, is why you are worthy. You know, there are people who go through life believing they are not meant for greatness. They think they weren't born with enough luck, enough talent, enough connections. They live with a timid heart, afraid of their own power. If you have ever, for even a moment, felt that way, I am here on this November 27th to tell you that you were wrong. And it is the most beautiful kind of wrong. Because the truth is, you are not only worthy of greatness, you are greatness in motion. Maybe you won't get a single phone call that day. Maybe you won't sign a massive contract or win the lottery. But you know what? A breakthrough doesn't always come in a form you expect. It can come in the way you suddenly feel fearless, in the way you finally forgive yourself for a past failure and see it as a lesson, in the way a competitor suddenly reaches out for a collaboration, in the way an idea you've been working on for years finally clicks into place. And then you will understand, True abundance always begins with an abundance of courage. You know, there's a question many ambitious people ask themselves after years of striving. When will I finally feel like I've made it? Not enough money, not enough success, but enough power to know I don't have to prove myself to anyone anymore. November 27th is a sacred roar from the universe telling you, you have fought hard enough. You are enough. You have already made it. If you have a habit of always fighting, always pushing, always being the strong one for others, then today you will finally see your own light. Not the light reflected back at you from others' approval, but your own brilliant, untamed light, radiating from your heart, forging the path you walk, and inspiring others to be brave. Today, you are allowed to celebrate. Not because something grand happened to you, but because you are the grand thing that happened. Because amidst a world of apathy, your heart has remained passionate. You still feel excitement when you start a new project. You still feel protective when you see injustice. You still feel a fire in your belly when you think about your dreams. And that, my friend, is a rare victory in this day and age. If tomorrow you receive the biggest financial windfall of your life, how would you celebrate? Not with flashy parties, but perhaps with a bold new investment in your next big dream. A powerful workout to honor your body, a longer than usual hug with the one you love, and a whisper to yourself before you sleep. Thank you for not giving up. Because a breakthrough is never just the dazzling moment of success. It is the moment you can thank the fight that got you there. You look back at the times you failed, the times you got back up, the times you nearly collapsed, but still found the strength to push one more time, and you say, thank you. Because of those days, I am this strong today. November the 27th is the day when the warrior parts of you are healed by the recognition from your own heart. You no longer need others to validate you. You no longer need permission to take up space, because today you give yourself that permission. You place your hand on your chest, feel that powerful heartbeat, and say, I have fought with honor. I have loved with passion. I have done my best. And you know that is more than enough to deserve a kingdom. Do you feel that from the beginning of the month until now, you have changed, not into someone new, but into the most powerful version of yourself returning? The version of you that always believed you could do something amazing in the world. The version of you that knew how to lead and wasn't afraid to be the first one over the wall. Today, you return to that self, and this time you have the wisdom and power to stay there. And that is why everything you touch today can become gold. You speak a word of encouragement, and it can ignite a movement. You take a bold action, and it can create a legacy. You place your faith in a big idea, and it can open a portal you never dared to imagine. Because today, your energy is at its peak, not just to receive, but to create. If you have come this far, I know you are no longer someone just seeking a victory. You are someone who seeks the powerful, quiet affirmation that your soul has always craved, and you have just found it, right here, right now. When night comes, create a ritual for yourself. Sit with a single candle flame. Write down 3 bold moves you are proud of from your past. Write them as if you are writing your own legend. Then fold the paper, place your hand over it and say, I receive my rewards with power and gratitude. And then take a deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine you are standing on the peak of a mountain you just climbed. You stand there, no one else around, no applause needed. But you know you have arrived. You are home. But you know A victory isn't about a single day. A breakthrough doesn't only happen on November 27th. The real secret is how you prepare your warrior's heart before the battle is won. Because if you don't clear the runway in your heart, the victory plane cannot land. If you don't know how to command it, that power will feel chaotic. That's why, in our final part, I will show you how to turn these 3 sacred days into your way of life. Not to have more breakthroughs, but to be the breakthrough every single day. If you have been moved, if you have seen yourself in these words, then write, "I am ready to claim my breakthrough," because nothing can stop the fire from reaching the one who is ready to stand in their own light. And now, before that sacred moment arrives, we must prepare the ground, not just in your life, but in your soul. Let's step into the final part together. Harnessing your fire, clear your path, focus your intention, and align with your destiny.